Hi everyone, this is Councillor Brian Hood. I'm the Mayor of Hepburn Shire Council and I'm providing you today with a brief update from the November Council meeting. And it was largely a positive and a shorter meeting than usual. Four main things went through, all very positive. We elected to enter into a memorandum of understanding for Cresfest, which is at the latest of our signature iconic events throughout the Shire, celebrating all things artistic and musical. It's up and running now, Cresfest. It's off to a very good start, and we want to fully support programs like that. So we've entered into a memorandum of understanding where Council will provide funding for the Cresfest. We also looked at the annual plan update for the first quarter. Already the first quarter of 23-24 is gone and time is flying by. And again, we're very pleased to report there that of the 34 projects that we've outlined to undertaken this financial year, 32 of them are up and running and progressing on track. The other two are not yet scheduled to start, so that by and large is off to a very good start for the financial year, and we're quite pleased with that progress. So you'll be able to get more details of our annual plan and how we're progressing on Council's website. We also took another very important step, and that was to adopt our revised risk management policy. Unfortunately, it had been some 10 years since the last policy had been developed, and a lot of things change in 10 years. So just like any organisation, it is terribly important to have a risk management policy whereby we identify all sorts of risks right across the organisation, from financial risk, reputational risk, operational risk, health and safety. So we've engaged a bunch of experts to help us put that policy together, and that's up and running now, and that will be embedded right through the organisation as we take a risk management approach to everything we do. And the fourth item on the agenda was the financial report, again for the first quarter of 23-24. That report was adopted. No surprise there. Again, it's indicating that the Council is operating in a pretty tight cash position. That always seems to be the case. We are a relatively small council and we rely very heavily on grant funding from state and federal governments. Importantly, again, this is available on Council's website. A very significant standout feature of the financial reports is that over the last couple of years, as we've experienced all these storms and floods and natural disasters, Council has spent $14 million, which we hadn't planned on spending, $14 million on all sorts of recovery works. But to date, we've only received funding of $9.5 million. So the $4.5 million gap is pretty significant for us. The money is steadily trickling in from other levels of government, but it does indicate to the community that Council's not waiting. We are committed to undertaking all these recovery works, particularly on roads, and everyone would be painfully aware of that. But the money is trickling in, we keep doing the work, and we will keep pushing on with that. Finally, two other matters. We did have a condolence motion to note the passing of Tim Hayes, a former councillor and a former mayor of this shire, who was Clunes based and did all sorts of wonderful work in that community, and we acknowledged his passing. And finally, of course, there were various references by myself and my councillor colleagues to the horrific accident that occurred in Daylesford on the 5th of November. Investigations are continuing. Council is receiving a report on that next week. We're moving as quickly as we possibly can, but at a reasonable, sensible pace too, because there are many complex issues that we have to take on board before we take a number of actions, and there are some cultural sensitivities as well. So that is an ongoing piece of work. Again, we repeat our deepest condolences to those that were badly affected in that accident, and also our great appreciation to the first responders, not only the police and CFA and SES volunteers, but also those many members of the community who did as much as they possibly could in the immediate aftermath. We sincerely appreciate your efforts. So that was the November meeting. One more meeting to go for this calendar year. The December meeting tends to be a fairly large one, as we don't meet in January. There'll be lots happening. That'll be a busy agenda, so watch out for that. And we're now well and truly into our fourth and final year of the term. There's much more work to be done, and we're collectively very motivated to get things done in the final year of our term. So watch this space. Take care in the meantime, and we'll see you next month.